Welcome, guys and gals. This is Jabberwock bringing you another Back to Reality episode, and today I'm going to be talking about reputation. And a lot of people have different views on reputation. Some people don't care what other people think about, and some people, their actions are based on what they perceive to be popular or what people will be in favor of. And those are two obviously different sides to look at it, and neither one of them are really wrong. First of all, I'd like to talk about school, and your reputation at school, especially in middle school, high school, and elementary school, is huge. That's in the stage where you're kind of a little bit more immature, and a lot of people care about what people do and what people say. And so make sure that you don't say anything that's going to tick a lot of people off, or you don't say anything you're going to regret saying, because that's going to last with you for a long time. In high school and grade school, you're in a very small knit community, and everyone knows everyone, and everyone talks, and as you guys know, gossip travels around really fast. So make sure you're careful with what you say, especially at school. And friends. So when you make friends, you don't want to, blow them off or be mean. I mean, you guys can get in fights. Everyone gets in fights. But really, you want to keep the friends you have and make new friends, because if you have the reputation that, you're not trustworthy or you're not dependable, that can be really bad, and that gets around really fast too. And then you're going to be stuck with no friends, which is really unfortunate. Girls, or guys, I guess, is a big part of how you treat the opposite sex. If you're nice to them, if you treat them with compassion, and when it comes to girlfriends slash boyfriends, cheating, that whole thing, reliability, faithfulness, you really want to make sure that you know what you're doing, because that again is going to stick with you. And the common theme in all of this is what I want to bring up is that your reputation precedes you 100% of the time. Even if someone doesn't know you, they talk to you, they meet you, they talk about you, someone else is going to know you, and they're going to tell them your history, and that might change their perception of you, which is going to be either bad or good depending on your reputation. When it comes to grades, your academic reputation is really big, especially when you're trying to get into colleges or get a job. So you want to kind of keep up with that, and you want to portray yourself really well. You don't want to be average, you want to be above average, and you want whatever you do in grades, you want to do your best, because that really allows you to pursue different things and opens up many more doors to you than being average and getting, like, say, a 3.0 or a 2.8 or even lower. So you want to do good on that. The way you treat your teachers is big too. You want to treat your teachers with respect and act like you want to be there, because teachers, believe it or not, do talk a lot about their students. Actually, I've heard this firsthand from them. And there's students that literally every teacher does not like. And so when they see on their roster they have that kid in their class, they already have something against you, And so your reputation with the teachers is huge, and that is also the same when you're talking about work and employers, because when you go in for a job and they ask you for a list of references, they're going to ask your previous bosses and coworkers and stuff like that what kind of employee you were, and if you have a bad reputation, then you're not getting that job. And so making sure that you put yourself out to be a good person and have a good reputation is huge in the workplace and at school. Sports is another big thing, especially in high school. Obviously, the coaches talk, not just like all of the coaches from the baseball organization, but the baseball organization talks to the basketball organization, who talks to the track organization, and they all talk about, who their hardest workers are, who their best athletes are. And so every practice you want to work your ass off, and you want to do your best, because that reputation will help you if you go out for another sport. And say if you go out for another sport and you work harder than someone that's a little bit more talented than you, obviously not if they're a lot more talented than you, then they're going to outshine you anyways, but If there's just a little bit more talent to you, and there's one spot, and if you've been working hard and the coaches have seen that you've been working hard, they're probably going to pick you over the more talented kid because they know that you have good work ethic, and that's really important. Um, just in general, the kind of person you are, make sure the person you want people to see you portray 24/7. And that means you can't put up a facade or you can't put up a front and act like one person, in the workplace or at school, and then go out with your friends and act like another person. And I know everyone does this to a certain extent, but in reality, you need to kind of be consistent because, yeah, okay, you're going to say stuff to your boss or you're going to say stuff to your friend that you might not necessarily say to your boss. But, just with personality characteristics mainly, don't, talk trash about people or you know, don't have an attitude, with some people or try to act cool with some people and then other people you act really genuine towards, and don't put up facades because once you do that, people start to realize that and they start to think and say, you know what, this kid is, I don't know if he's being real with me or not, I don't know if this is the real him. And so 24/7 you want to kind of be the same person. I know, again, that there's differences between the way you interact with certain people, but at the same time, your characteristics, who you are as a person, need to stay consistent. And professionalism is the second to last thing I want to talk about. And at all times, you want to be really professional. You don't want to show things that you don't want to say or do things that you want to, and everyone uses this, but you don't want to say or do things that you don't want your grandma to know about, And so all the time you want to be a good person, hold door open for people, stuff like that, and be really genuine because, if your future employer might see you being a jackass or doing something like that, and you go in for an interview and guess what, he saw you that day before, that's not going to be okay. And there's tons of stories. Actually, my Business 100 teacher told me a story about how her husband, who does trading, was on a plane and he sat next to this woman, and this woman was from company B, and his company A, was trading with that company B. Although she didn't know that, she started talking about her company and how they screw over other companies with their trades and blah 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 blah. And he worked for company A, and he's like, you know what? I'm never doing. Obviously, he didn't say this to her, but he's like, I'm never doing business with them again because, of the way she talked and the way she was way too forward about how they do business. And so 100% of the time, you want to be professional. And lastly, your reputation is important, but it's created by you. So you have to be your own person. You can't really care too much about what other people think. You have to be, you have to portray that you're a good person, because, who doesn't want to be a good person? But you also, at the same time, you have to be your own person. You can't, you want to dress the way you want to dress. You want to do what you want to do. If you're passionate about, gaming or sports or casting or film or photography or art or language or any of that type of stuff, culture, anthropology, anything, you just got to go for it, and you can't care about what other people think, because if you're happy, then you're going to show that, and everyone else around you is going to be happy, and they're going to accept you because they know that they're around someone who is having a good life, and no one wants to be around someone who's grumpy all the time. And if you're having a good time, then you're going to be, you're just going to shine more, and it's going to be all around better. So that's my 2 cents on reputation. Tell me what you guys think. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.